ConnecTogether creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, ConnecTogether, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative. Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey. Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson. Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff. And other initiatives, including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at ConnecTogether Society.
Okay, Bobbie, you can start.
Thank you, Kausar.
And yeah, Bobbie, one more thing. I'll leave at around 12:45 today. So I'll make you host and I'll leave.
Wow.
I have an appointment. So
Go figure. Okay, I'll be here and I'll host. So I'm just going to turn the volume up a little bit. So I'm hoping that everybody can hear me clearly. Good. And so welcome everyone to an adapted seated yoga practice. And so if you're anything like me, the idea of doing a yoga practice and however that manifests, potentially has the benefit of bringing a smile to our face. And so I'm delighted to be here and I can't help myself. It's just like, I guess because it's been my passion, I'm love this amazing gift. Ancient practices that were essentially gifted to us in the West from India. So albeit, contemporary and adapted for the West. So just trying to remove the spotlight on me. So that said, I also, understand that, yoga meets us right where we are. And so because, and this is just a bit of housekeeping, in our yoga practice, we may well be moving into places we've forgotten we have places. Or it might be that you, if you're not doing the physical movement, you may well be visualizing the movement. And so imagination is powerful. And so that can bring up certain emotions. And so I always like to share, please don't resist any urges. And so, first of all, not naming any names, if you need to leave the space or in your self, please do. And I know that you're not going to be disruptive on your way out. And if you'd like to come back to the class in the same session, wonderful. If not, totally fine. So urges such as, the what I just stated, but also laughter, crying. I mean, I have had two spiritual advisors in my life, and both of them were men, and one lived to be 100 and died about 10 years ago. And another friend who was part of a meditation group that I was part of that agreed to be my spiritual advisor and wanted to be clear that he would never tell me what to do. And so I come from the school, and I know he did too, of you can tell me, but you can't tell me a lot. And so, laughter, tears. And so my friend from all those years ago would say that tears are a spiritual bath. And sometimes that can feel not so comfortable. And so sometimes, you know, sitting with or not, feelings that come up, whether they're sensations, emotions that come up. And I'm going to take a big risk here. And I need you to know that everybody farts in yoga. So there, I said it. That's it. So enough talking. So don't take my word for it. Investigate. Okay? Notice how you feel. And so that said, as always, an invitation to begin your yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. Sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. It is challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our bodies. And so that said, in keeping with a bit of housekeeping, I brought a few of my favorite yoga toys to class today. So one of them, because I'm teaching outdoors and it's coolish on the Sunshine Coast, I brought my hippie blanket, cost me $5. And my toque, which after at 63, I finally found a hat that fits this big hat of mine and that I like. So at some point, most probably at the end of the practice, if you're not outdoors, may well start cooling down. And so we don't start at the top of the mountain, we start at the bottom. And so hopefully that's from as comfortable a place as possible. And so lastly, I'd like to invite you to explore, if you haven't already, placing a rolled yoga mat, or maybe it's a bolster, rolled something along your spine. If you're able to, if it's possible, to walk yourself forward in the chair enough so that you can place it along your spine. And so that helps to counter some of the contracting most of us do in our chest, especially these days. Alternatively, if you want to use it at the end of the practice, that can be lovely to recline onto, albeit sitting against the wall, making sure your head's supported. So an invitation to shake your hands. And so I'm mirroring what a teacher I'm studying with these days. Her name's Stephanie Munez, and she suggested that she shakes her hands and she brings them up high enough to make sure, because she's teaching online, that you can see me. You can see my hands. That said, there are a few contraindications to reaching your arms up too high. So if you know you have a heart condition, your hands are cold, an invitation to explore just maybe having your hands lower so that can increase the circulation to your hands. And so we can imagine that we're waving to our ancestors, if you'd like. Then coming forward a little. So hinging from the hips, lead with the heart, not the head, always a good principle. And then reaching back up. So one last time, waving to our ancestors. Good day. And so just like you're shaking water off your hands, allow your arms to float down by your sides. Notice your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And then one more time, if you'd like, and it's available to you, reaching up to the sky. So reaching up as high as feels comfortable for you. So you can have palms facing each other, palms forward, maybe notice which feels better. And then on an exhale, lowering your hands, make an audible sound. Ah, nice. Woohoo. So, woohoo, it's yoga time. And so We're falling awake. We're becoming awakened, whatever phrase you want to use, not asleep. And so, community of like-hearted, like-minded individuals. So, albeit a loving community. And so, an invitation to soften your gaze. So it might be that your gaze moves down towards the floor 3 or 4 feet in front of you. That can be calming for our nervous system. Ground down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Our Buddha belly is soft. Spine is long. Roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Lift up through the crown of your head. If it works for you, imagine a thread, the crown of your head pulling you up to the sky. Our chin is level with the floor, tucked in slightly. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Our attention moves inward. Notice your alignment, knees, ankles, hips, shoulders stacked over our hips. And then when you're ready, an invitation to, in a gentle way, bring your awareness to your breath. Maybe noticing that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. If you'd like, you're placing one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And maybe notice the pattern of movement of your breath between your upper torso and your belly. And then see if you can begin to extend your breath. So when we extend our breath, it engages the relaxation response, allowing us to let go of holding, stress, and tension. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, know that that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. So our old friend, our breath. So just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, an invitation to keep this simple breathing technique flowing. So if it's challenging to focus on the breath, an invitation to bring your awareness to the sounds around you. I can hear the sound of a chainsaw in the neighborhood, off in the distance. I can hear the whoosh of a car that's about to pass in front of our cabin or home. And maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice, and in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. So as ready, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm, your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And drop your chin towards your chest. And gradually blink your eyes. So falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. And so let's repose. So my hands are a little bit chilly, so I'm just wrapping my hands in my wool cap. And so make sure you have what you need to not only to sit comfortably, however, we will be moving into the movements of the spine. And so if you know that balance is a challenge for you, this might be a good time to make sure you have whatever you need to keep you stable in your chair. So whatever device. Some of the yoga toys that I like to use are a purple block, maybe between the thighs with some sort of tie to keep it in place. Alternatively, this block can be placed between our feet to encourage hip distance. And lastly, I have a few eye pillows, little beanie bags with little seeds. And so this can help if you experience tremors. I have an inattention tremor, and I find that resting these soft little beanie bags in my hands helpful. Or if you happen to have one and you're reclining at the end of the practice, I'd like to invite you to make sure that you're not putting the weight of whatever you're using directly on your eyes. The idea is to place the weight. So you take your little bag, make sure all the weight goes to one side, and place it on your middle eye, third eye, pardon me. And then just take the rest of the material and cover your eyes lightly, or you could use a face cloth. So enough, hopefully talking, hopefully we'll have an ongoing conversation. And so repose. Ground through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. So we want to keep our connection with Mother Earth. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. So pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones in order to do a little bum dance. And sitting up tall, shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. And tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And so if it's available to you and you would like, you can place 2 fingers on your chin. Imagine a turtle. The smile. And so from here, I'd like to invite you to rub your hands vigorously. And so if you are blessed with a yoga buddy, and your yoga buddy, with your guidance and permission, can maybe do some of this lovely stuff that we're going to do with our hands. And so, of course, not doing the work for you, but guiding always. And so rub your palms vigorously, energize your hands, warm up your hands. And then an invitation to move your hands apart a little. And maybe noticing a little warmth or heat. And then exploring, moving them a little further apart. And then rub your hands together again. And so There is research now that shows what we've always known, that our hands are connected not only to our heart, but to our mind as well. And so setting an intention of self-nurturing, like you to notice where in your body you're holding stress or tension, and see if you can take some of that loving energy to wherever that place is. So maybe you take your hand there, your hands. So open to receive and release. So rub your palms together again. Scratch your head if you need to. Don't resist any urges. All right, so I want you to think of a new place and area of your body where maybe you're holding stress or tension, and take your hands there. And release. A little shake out again. So today, the main focus is going to be head, neck, and so neck and shoulders essentially. And so I've decided that every 2 weeks I'm going to have a different focus. And so we'll move through the entire body. So this week it's neck and shoulders, next week hips and lower back, and so on. And so we'll see how that goes. I think it'll go very well, but for today, of course, we're not just our neck and our shoulders, so we'll be moving through all the major joints, strengthening, stretching, and of course, meditation, relaxation at the end of the class. So here we go. So this is a practice to hopefully release some of the tension in our neck. So an invitation to bring your chin gently down towards your chest. And then move your gaze up. So it might be that your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. And then bringing your chin gently towards your chest. So in your own time and rhythm for a few more breaths, as long as it feels comfortable, keeping this simple, gentle movement flowing. And if for whatever reason this gentle movement creates strain in your neck, an invitation to explore visualizing the movement instead. And so imagination is powerful. Feel as though you are doing the movement. That might be a good starting point. As ready, bring your head back to neutral. And then turn your gaze looking just past your shoulder. Pause. Visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. Move your head back through center. Turn a soft gaze looking past your opposite shoulder. Pause. So you might notice a little more range of motion on one side than the other. So just as human beings, we tend to be tighter on one side. As ready, bring your head back to neutral. And so when you're ready, an invitation to reach your hand across. And so if you can take your hand up to your, just below your ear, so you might be helpful to hold on to your elbow. And if it feels okay for your fingers or your hands, tap from the bottom of your ear down to your shoulder. And so again, this is something that you can do with a yoga buddy. And then I'd like you to reach back and give yourself a pat on the back. Create that little half smile, Buddhist smile. And then extend your arm, tapping down. And so feel free to have your arm up higher or lower, hand resting on your thigh. Turn your palm face up, turn your palm face down. Notice which feels better for you. And then as ready, spiral your palm open and tap up. So soft, bend in your elbow, nothing rigid. And release. So other side. Reach across to the bottom of your ear, wherever you can reach comfortably. And then tap, so you might be holding your shoulder or shoulder, elbow, pardon me, shoulder too. And tap. And then reach back and give yourself a pat on the back. I can't hear you. I want to hear your pat on the back. And so when you're ready, extend your arm, tap down. So I'm keeping my hand covered right now because again, it's nippy out. And so palm face up if you like, tapping up. And release. Ooh, little shake out. And so an invitation now to take your fingertips to the back of your neck and tap. So if you're wearing, an elastic today, I might invite you to explore how does it feel to set that aside. And then take your fingers up to your scalp and massage your, let's imagine that we're shampooing our hair. So a little bit of Indian head massage. And then sweep your hair back, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then an invitation to take your fingertips to the outside corners of your eyes and tap. If you're wearing glasses and you're okay with removing them for a few minutes, that might feel good. Tap the inside corners of your eyes. Tap underneath your nose. So as long as you're moving in that direction, so you might be able to reach just under your nose or not. And then tap your chin. Tap underneath your collarbones. Tap under your armpit. So about, if you're wearing a bra, about halfway down your bra strap. Tap the outside corners of your eyebrows. So we're going to do a few rounds if you don't need your glasses for this. So tap the inside corners. Tap underneath your nose. So it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these gentle practices. And so tap your chin. Remember your little Buddha smile. When we smile, it releases saliva. And so tap underneath your collarbones. Tap under your armpit, other side this time. Tap the outside corners of your eyebrows. Tap the inside corners. Tap underneath your nose. Tap your chin. Tap under your collarbones. Tap under your armpit. And release. Whew. So notice if you need to repose some part of your body talking to you. And so make sure that you're sitting comfortably, effortlessly upright. So might be something along your spine. Yeah, behind your back, whatever works for you, if that feels comfortable. It feels supporting. And so Yoga meets us right where we are. And so, of course, we are at home, most of us, or maybe practicing outdoors at a park or beach or wherever. So you don't have to have fancy yoga props, whatever you have with you that you know works for you, lovely, roll a blanket, etc. So I'm going to set this block aside again. So an invitation to, if possible, sit in a space where you're supporting your own spine. So come forward enough, so away from the back of the chair, so that you feel that you're sitting forward on your sits bones. If you would like the back of the chair for support, or maybe yoga mat or bolster, today, honor that. And so trusting that you're taking good care. You are the expert on your own body. And so yoga has a unique philosophy, and one of the first principles is non-harming. And so I can only see a few of you. I sense your presence, those that you're in the class today live. And so my hope and my wish for you is that you become your own yoga teacher. And so I hope you keep coming to the class. It's fun practicing together too. So, but we're not always available for each other. And this is your dealy Bob. And so arms by your side, palms face up. And then shake your hands vigorously. So wiggly fidgets, a little more vigorous this time. Get a little bum dance in there. Woohoo. So we all have our own sense of rhythm. So now I'd like to invite you to tap your fingers. So I'm going to bring this up here so you can see my fingers. And if you'd like to play a brain game, you could imagine, or physically, if you're able to, tap from your pinkies to your thumbs. So this is good for our brain health. And then when you're ready, stretch your fingers. Create some space between your fingers. And then make soft palms. Stretch. Soft palms. Circle your wrists in one direction. And circle in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, an invitation to press your fingertips into your thumbs. So they might touch, they might not. So as long as we're moving in that direction, so it engages all the little muscles in our hands. And when you're ready, extend your arms, stretch your palms. Make soft fists, draw your elbows back. Stretch your palms. Soft fists. Draw your elbows back. So you may well feel your shoulder blades moving towards each other. Stretch. Soft palms. Draw your elbows back. And so now let's get some synovial fluid into our elbow joints. And so release your arms by your side, spiral your palms open, bend your elbows, palms face away, and release. Arms by your side, bend your elbows, palms face away, release. So moving with our breath, magical things happen. Palms face away and release. When you're ready, Relax your hands on your lap or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then circle your wrists in one direction. Circle your wrists in the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, take your fingertips to your shoulder, wherever you can reach comfortably. And then draw circles with your elbow points. Pause anytime you'd like or on my cue. And reverse the direction. So motion is lotion, so need to keep moving. And then when you're ready, float your arm down. Take a moment. So it might feel a little different on one side or the other. And let's come into this on the other side. So circle in one direction. Circle in the opposite direction. Notice if one wrist is tighter than the other. And then take your hand or your fingers wherever you can reach comfortably. So if you can reach your shoulder, go for it. And then draw circles with your elbow point. So see if you can create a little Buddha smile, a little half smile. And release. Woohoo. So neck and shoulders. I don't know anyone on the planet who's not holding a lot of tension in neck and shoulders these days. If you've met someone, you know someone personally, please have them introduce them to me. And so, like to, some of you know I have a little bunny rabbit. And some of you know I have a little bunny rabbit. That's my fur kid. My husband and I were thinking, oh, we'll get a Bouvier, a Mancoon cat. And lo and behold, this little bunny rabbit came hopping into our yard here in Half Moon Bay. We live on half an acre. And he had recently had a haircut. He's actually a lion's head. So he has hippie hair like his bunny mom. But after a few days of watching him hop around and speaking to the neighbors, we discovered that he was hopping into our neighbor's yard 2 or 3 houses down. There are young girls there, and there are 2 bunny rabbits that lived there. And they didn't like what we named our rabbit. Today is known as EB. And so anyway, collectively, we decided that we better rescue the rabbit EB, or he was going to get et. So I live in a fairly natural environment, and rabbits are animals of prey. And so an invitation to know that pets are always invited to the party. And as are children, I do encourage you to find a space where you can focus as much as possible on your practice, right? So self-nurturing. And so I've recently totally crazy in love, fallen in love with children. And I've noticed that sometimes children, so if you take your hand and in a really gentle way, you bring it up to your nose, under your nose, and you massage. Your nose might be a little cold or not. So not picking on anyone, but I happened to notice that someone in class was doing this. I thought, oh, what the heck? So from there, I'd like to invite you to maybe take your hands. And so if you have any kind of pain in your hands, it might hurt to kind of do a whole bunch of movements. So alternatively, massage can feel amazing. So squeezing might be a nice thing to do. I know I do this a lot. So hands are connected to our heart, to our mind. A little shake out. So I know most of us use our hands human beings use their hands more than they do their feet typically. And so we want to keep, one of the ways yoga works its magic, it's Halloween, is prevention. So, so we want to keep what we have, or maybe we can, reverse some stuff. But anyway, I feel like I'm talking too much now, so I'm going to stop talking. And so that said, give yourself a little shake. I don't have my cell phone. Oh, goodness forbid. So I'm just going to check the time. And 12:44. So, oh no, where are you? There you are. I'm back. Okay. So remove spotlight. Good. So I'd like to end the class 10 minutes early so that we can have time for questions or feedback at the end of the class. My lovely tech host is going to be on his way in 30 seconds probably. So here we are, together we can. So I'd like to invite you to reach your arms up to the sky. So reach up to your place. So of course your feet are firmly planted on your footrest or on the floor, not in the air. Take a look between your palms if it doesn't create tension in your neck. Notice if your hands are facing each other, then return your gaze on the horizon. So fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands. There is a sensitive point in the palms of our hands. And together we can shout out, I am, I can, and I will. And I have friends who say, who are in the elder years, old age or their old age, proudly, and they would say, and I have. And so with a sigh of relief, float your arms down. We'll shake them again. So repose, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Push down through one foot, push down through your other foot. So it might be an energetic pushing down. So energy flows where our breath, where our thoughts go. And maybe notice, can you feel one foot more than the other? Shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head, or chin's tucked in slightly, level with the floor, the earth if you'd like, anywhere you are. And so from here, invitation to make the nastiest face you can imagine. You can practice for Halloween if you like. So we're going to do a bit of face yoga. So here we go. Open your mouth wide. And release. Open your mouth wide again. This time I want you to see if you can bring your lips over your teeth. And release, relax. So this time I'd like to see if you can, or invite you to see if you can pull all your facial muscles towards your nose. So one of the hardest places I've learned, for me at least, and seems for many, to release tension is in our face. I think because we have so many facial muscles. And so now I want you to draw your facial muscles towards your nose. So imagine you just bit into a lemon. And release. If it's available to you and you would like, make a soft fist, take it up to your jaw. And so holding your elbow, maybe you have a yoga buddy. So the idea is to create resistance. And then switch sides. So we don't want to create lockjaw. So we tend to hold a lot of tension in our jaw. Sometimes taking that in from one day to the next. Take a soft fist up to your third eye, middle of your forehead. So gentle pressure in the front part of our brain can be calming for our nervous system. As you're ready, and if you'd like, bring a hand up, place it on the side of your head, again, creating resistance. Switch sides. Release. Take a moment, notice how you feel. And then shake it out. Okay. So, once seated comfortably in your chair in preparation for a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. And so, if you'd like, if you have a wall behind you that you can move your chair to, if you're in a chair without armrests, or even I suppose if they have armrests, you're okay. But I know there are wheelchair users in the group, and also people are using regular old chairs. So if you can place your chair butt up against the wall and place the yoga mat along your spine, go for it. Make sure your head and neck is supported. So you might put a blanket, a little pillow behind your head. And so I know some folks have super wheelchairs and you're able to recline. So feel free to recline if you'd like. And so invitation to practice a mudra called the mudra of calm abiding. So place your hands palms face down. And so mudras were hand gestures that were created to help us focus our mind. And if this placement of your hands doesn't work for you, choose another placement for your hands. And then draw your hands in towards your hips. And so if you're reclined, you might bring your hands in a little closer to your Buddha belly. Support under your arms, on your armrests, if you have armrests. And so if you'd like, think of when we bring our hands into a hand gesture. So in this case, a hand gesture of calm abiding, or whatever hand gesture you choose to use. If you'd like, you could think of it as a symbol of connecting with your higher self or your higher power. And then an invitation to look down and into your heart. See what you can see. And then breathe into your heart. So breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I release. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwell in the present moment. I know this is a wonderful moment. So breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. So we'll sit and breathe together for a few moments with a gentle reminder. Breathing. So come into whatever comfortable sitting position or recline. So whatever position you'd like your final relaxation. Just going to move in, do a little time check again. So I'd like to move the iPad so that visually you can connect a little more with the trees and our little half acre. So they're big old redwood trees, cedar trees. And I'm going to be sitting right there too, among the trees. However, it requires that I move my butt, which is attached to my iPad. All right. Oh, okay. So I guess this is good enough for today. So there's some lovely dry grass. So most of you know probably, or maybe not, that at least on the Sunshine Coast, we're in emergency away regarding water. So we're doing our best to conserve water over here. And so everything's pretty dry. But hey, here we are. Breathing in, I calm. And breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And so an invitation to close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you. Or soften your gaze. Rest your hands, palms face up or down as desired. So if you have something you can place in your hands, that can feel lovely. So soft palms. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our hands. Soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. Serenity pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. So it's challenging to quiet the mind. Placing our hands on our Buddha belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. And without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body again. And so our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. Now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Maybe waving goodbye till we meet again. And rub the tips of your fingers with your thumbs if you'd like. And then come on up seated comfortably to finish your yoga practice. And so feel like a Smurf, but I don't care. So feel free to take yourself off mute. My tech host is gone. So together we.
Oh, sorry. Bobbie, it's good to be back.
Oh, it's great to have you back. You're lovely present. So your trip away was okay, love?
It was great, yeah.
It's always good to come home though, eh?
Mhm.
Yeah, good.
Bobbie, we haven't seen Lorette. Not that I'm here every time, but I haven't seen Lorette for a long time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
She's okay.
I'll connect with her. I
I know you.
Yeah, I saw her recently,
Okay.
like just a matter of days in another
Oh,
class.
okay.
Hey, this isn't the only yoga class on the planet, you know.
But
Tell
it's
her,
the best.
I'll tell her. Oh yeah, thanks. Well, good. As long as you think so. I think that this adaptive yoga is amazing, and I'm delighted to be here to share it. So I'll let her know. I'll pass on the good word that you missed her and curious. And how is she?
And sorry about your water problem over there in Seychelles.
Yeah,
Not gonna get much rain for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna start filling up my empty mason jars with water. How about that? So they're not just sitting there empty. And then I get
Mhm.
mason jar water cocktail if I need it. I collect them like crazy, and I saw a little tip online. It was like, wow, 40 years I've been collecting mason jars and they're sitting there empty. I could be putting water in them. Anyway, enough for me. Anybody else?
Thank
No,
you.
yeah, know that you can always connect with me. Hopefully you have my information. If you ever want to chat one-on-one or Zoom, hang out. I am in the city a couple days a week teaching at the Spinal Cord Center and in extended care, 2 different days. So I'm always open to conversation, hanging out. One of my favorite things to do. Coffee and tea.
Mm.
My treat. Anyway, love you. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Aw.
You're talking to me. They're getting cold.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. See you, Monty.